nobody thinks that when we speak about Mexico or Central America or the Americas or Abya Yala, we are speaking about an issue that is separated, no, for the African struggle of reparations. No, it's the same struggle of the same communities with the same history, with the same colonial project that has been attacking us continuously. With 5 minutes, I will try to explain what we mean with the proposition that for reparations we need truth about colonial genocide, and what we mean by the proposition that the colonial genocide is continuous. For this, we will have to go back to the 15th century. You know that at the end of the 15th century, the Spanish colonial invasion of what will be called by them the Americas began. At that time, it was also coincidental with the fall of Granada, and the genocide in the Iberian Peninsula also started. Here in Abya Yala, in what they call the Americas, Tenochtitlan, what we now call Mexico City, was the most populous city in the world, as far as we know. And in the ongoing war of destruction of the civilizations in Mexico, it was the Maya people that resisted more or less 100 years. So during a whole century, the indigenous civilization of the Mayan people, then they lived along in war with this Spanish invasion. In this century, it was we had the expulsion of the Muslims of the Iberian Peninsula. It was 1574, no, and the expulsion of the Sephardi people in 1604. So. Many historians, the ones that are not with this fake propaganda, nationalistic Hispanic history that they call the Black Legend, the historian says that there was a time when this transatlantic slave trading started in Abya Yala, that there were more enslaved Africans in Mexico than there were Spanish colonizers. So then that is to make a sense, no, of how huge was this transatlantic trafficking, no, as they call it. So also it's very important to emphasize that this expulsion of the Iberian Peninsula brought also slaves from these communities to the so-called Americas. And so the ancestral indigenous people of these territories, of our nations, and the enslaved people from the Iberian Peninsula and the enslaved people from Africa, they were brought together in this continuous colonial genocide. So we're speaking about estimated numbers, no? And this concept of estimated numbers is very, very important, no? Because when we talk about the continuation of this genocide, now we have to jump in Mexico to the year 2006. And in 2006 is the start of what we call the Narco war, no? Firstly called with a coup d'etat by the political National Action Party with Felipe Calderón. And this started a whole out internal war in Mexico, that we now have the estimated numbers, the official estimated numbers of 100,000 disappeared, but this been the estimated number for a long time, no? So we could say 150,000 disappeared since 2006 to this date. The quantity of assassinations related to this narco war is upwards of 300,000 people in Mexico. So a number that is not estimated is the yearly rate of assassinations, which in 2005, 2006, there were 13,000 assassinations in Mexico. But now in 2023, 24, we have 34, 35, 36,000 yearly assassinations. So then this is to give estimated numbers to make a representation of the war, and this is and to make it clear that there is a genocide against our people in Mexico. We could say that in Colombia, in El Salvador, in Guatemala, in Nicaragua, but I will only refer to Mexico, which is what I can testify. You know? So the conceptualization of this genocide, it has to do from one side with the objectives of the colonial powers that made this happen. So this is the Inquisition, this Spanish Inquisition that in the 15th century, they took the people and they burned them alive and they caught them and they tortured them and they decapitated them to subjugate them, to enslave them, to take control of their land and exploit the land, and also to take resources and take them into Europe for the benefit of their colonial wars. It's the same objective that we see in these days. So these soldiers, these Spanish soldiers, with the things of metal in the head, they are now we see as their direct descendants these paramilitary death squads that patrol our neighborhoods, and they have the exact same methods, They take our people, they cut them down, they disembowel them, they burn them alive, and they throw their bodies, As 500 years ago it started. So what is the objective? The objectives right now is the same. The objective is to enslave our people. It's not the enslavement of the old days, but now we have this neoliberal extreme exploitation of the workers that could even be a worse form of slavery. But we also have the same objective of taking our resources in this colonial project of mining companies, of fracking companies, of extraction of resources, natural gas, and all of that, the fossil fuels, that it was necessary for this extraction to balkanize our country, to make this genocide so that the people could not resist to these policies of constitutional reforms that make it legal for these companies to come to our country and make all this, As also the brother from Niger, was telling, the arms trade is something fundamental. When you balkanize a country, there's a lot of winning, and the private security companies is also an important part of this. And so this is to explain the continuity of this genocide, and that there are the same colonial powers with the same objectives and the same methods. But when we have this conversation amongst us, so in the communities, this is what we talk about. The people is what they talk about, and the objective of this proposition, this theory, historical theory, is to say that as the question, the brother said, the rebranding, in Mexico and in Spanish literature, in social scientists, you almost can't never see that they use the term of reparations, or reparaciones. It's almost non-existent, only when they talk about the African struggle. But in the context of the Abya Yala, they don't speak about reparations, and the communities even less. So when we speak about autonomy, we speak about insurgency, and we speak about community justice, and the political program that the organizations are implementing to combat this genocidal military strategy implanted in our communities are branded in this way. but it's just a semantics issue. It doesn't mean that it's different. No, it's a form of reparations, and that has also this continuity. It's not only the horrible, grotesque violence that has been committed against our nations all these centuries. The center of this issue is the fact that no amount of genocide, no amount of bloody massacres against our people, they never, even for one day, they never achieved their objective of subjugating our people. The resistance of the communities has been continuous every day since this colonial invasion. No? When we were speaking about the Mayan people, where they were, since that first war in the 15th, 16th century, there were five Maya massive uprisings, including the last one from 1994 that is still going on. So I wanted to make it clear in this position that we have about our history. So nobody thinks that when we speak about Mexico or Central America or the Americas or Abya Yala, we are speaking about an issue that is separated, no, for the African struggle of reparations. No, it's the same struggle of the same communities with the same history, with the same colonial project that has been attacking us continuously. Thank you.
Education is preparation for reparations.